Hey everyone, welcome to Clear Discussion. I'm John, and I wanted to go over this idea that I've been thinking about a bit more lately, and I kind of want to explain in more detail and break down further so I don't come across as clickbaity or like excessive. Um, and that is, I think we can let this self improvement or self help or like just overall idea of becoming the best version of ourselves become the goal in and of itself. It's tough because you have to find that middle ground, and it takes a while for a lot of people. Like, I can speak for myself where it takes me, let's say, I can't think off the top of my head exactly how long it takes me to build a habit, but let's say it takes me 2 to 3 weeks to build a habit. And habit one is going to the gym, a good habit to have. So let's say you take those 2 to 3 weeks to build that habit, and now you're consistently, either like going for a walk, going for a run, going to the gym, doing something that's active, and now you have that habit built. Good. Let's say habit two is um, journaling, so writing down your thoughts or your plan for the day, and doing that either in the morning, middle of the day, or the end of the day. And let's say that's habit two in this particular example. So now you got going to the gym, which depending on what you do, I'm going to say going to the gym, by the way, rather than saying all the options of exercising, because it's what I do. And I'm using myself kind of as an example here. So going to the gym, which depending on who you are, can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So that's a time commitment there. Let's say 5 days a week. That can add up. Now you're journaling, so you have something else that's taking up a bit of mind space, a bit of time. Probably not too much, 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, for journaling, so nothing crazy there. And then, so you take a month and a week to build those two habits up. You started with the gym, go to journaling. Now we're starting a new habit after that. And let's say in this particular instance, kind of basing it off of the last video, let's say you're doing, let's say habit three is just no porn or masturbating, which kind of relates to what I said on the previous video. So it goes into that a little bit more. So now those are the three habits you're trying to build / have built, at least those two. You should take the time to build them. Those are all good habits to have, but it's easy to see how they can take up a lot of time in your day. If going to the gym turns into a really, really strong passion for you, you could be at that gym for anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. And let's say you work full time, which you have to commit at, I would say, at least 8 hours to. So depending on how long you take at the gym, your day is full 9 to 10 hours already. If you got to drive to work, however long, well, I mean, most people have to drive to work, however long you have to drive to work, add on that time. It's really easy for these small habits that you build up to add up into a lot of time in one day. And I think we can kind of get caught up in letting these routines take over life, period. If you're trying to do these things consistently, which is good, like that's the whole point, it's very easy for them to kind of take over every single day. And that's where that fine line comes into play. You want to go to the gym consistently, you want to exercise, you want to have some mindfulness of your day-to-day thoughts, of your day-to-day actions. And ideally, in my perspective, you don't want to masturbate to porn all the time either. All these things combined are good habits. I don't want myself, and sounds like a lot of other people, to have these things kind of take over what our goals in life are or should be. You shouldn't strive to go, let's say you're going to the gym and you go, your goal for the month is to go to the gym 25 times in that month. Depending on your body and your recovery, it's not a bad goal. I would argue it's not necessarily the most necessary thing in life, unless what you're trying to do is bodybuilding or powerlifting. I don't think that's a necessary goal to have personally. myself, I just try to stay active. I want to increase my strength. I want to increase my size. That's me personally. But it's not a goal of mine to hit X amount of workouts in a month. It's a goal to make sure I hit, or at least go to the gym 4 times in the week. Ideally, I try to do more, but depending on the week, it can be busy. A good example is for me today. I have my fantasy football draft at the end of the day here. And it's something I look forward to. I personally really enjoy doing it. And I meet up with my brothers and friends, and we hang out and go through our draft. And it's overall a good night. Usually we stay up later or I at least do, stay up later than I normally would. And so I get to bed later than I normally would. And usually in the morning, after this particular night, I'm either going to be, if I get up early and go to the gym, I'm going to be extra tired tomorrow. Or I take the day off from the gym, kind of let my body recover and have a little more rest. And right there, if I was always on the hustle, on the work my ass off mindset, I don't think I would go to this draft, which would be a bummer because I really enjoy it. I have only good memories of going to this and hanging out with everybody and overall having a good night. I'm glad I have my habits that I built going to the gym, but I'm also glad that I know they're not the goals in and of themselves. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I think it's very easy to find something that excites you and you're like, I want to put in the work and I really want to see the results, whether that's the gym, whether that's basically any aspect of self-improvement, to be honest with you. Seeing the results come along, it creates an excitement. It creates kind of a hype for yourself. And that is good. But I do think that sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, which is why I'm making this video, you can let it consume your life, your day-to-day life, where your life is not, let's say, going to the gym, work, and then free time, or at least something fun at the end of the night. You can create a scenario of life where it's literally like routine A and B, work, routine C, D, and E, and then sleep and repeat. And I don't think that's healthy personally. I know I personally don't like doing that. And I think overall, if you do these things, you miss out on a lot of the opportunities that life has. Another example from my personal experience, when this is a few years ago, and I was very consistent at the gym. I was working, I wouldn't say too much, but I was working overtime. I was working more than usual. And overall, I was building a lot of habits and had built a lot of habits that were super beneficial at the time and are still today. And I was in a very, very good space, mentally and physically, spiritually, kind of everything. I was in a good zone. And my sister-in-law tells me about her friend. And she's like, I really think you guys would get along. You guys should go out sometime. And I'm like, no, we'll see, maybe. And then it comes up again later on down the road when I'm in a very, very similar / same mindset and environment in life. And she brings it up again. And I'm like, you know what? Sure. Why don't you shoot her a text or give me her number or whatever. And maybe we'll see if we want to go out sometime. Fast forward a few years later, that girl's my wife. So these things, I don't want to say everything works out because that's not true. But you have to be willing to let life happen, I guess for lack of a better word. Because you can get so absorbed into your routine, you get so absorbed into your day-to-day process that you can get too absorbed into it. And man, I wish I had like a cheat sheet that just said, do this much, go to the gym for 1 hour, journal for 5 minutes, and can't really say don't focus on jacking off because that defeats the whole purpose. You don't want to be thinking about it per se. But I don't have the cheat sheet, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody does. I think myself and other people who are trying to be better at life and trying to improve in life, you kind of just take what you have and you also see what works for others and then adapt that for yourself and hopefully experiment enough that you find a good rhythm. Now that's what has worked for me, is trying these different things, because I've seen so many little things where it's like, this is I'm guilty of saying this myself in thumbnails and whatnot, like this is the cheat code, this is the perfect habits, these are the exact ways to do things. And most of the time they're not. You know, they might work for me, they might work for some of you guys, and they might work for none of you guys. And I don't know, I can only speak for myself. When I see other examples of people talking about self-improvement or whatnot, and I think they almost get into their hype a little too much, where you can get so drawn into doing all these self-improvement things that your whole life is like, I want to see what so-and-so says next week when they make another video about self-improvement. It's like, dude, you can only have so many habits and so many routines. And eventually, the more you try to build, some of the other ones are going to fall apart. So just take that as you will. You know, you only have 24 hours in a day, and you have to maximize that time with what you want to maximize. What do you want to focus on your day-to-day? And if you're a single guy and you are just not sure what to do with life, I've been in that boat before. Just take some time to sit and think and figure it out as best you can. Maybe you won't find the answer, but figuring out what your priorities are or what you want them to be is probably going to lead you to the goals you want to build or the habits you want to build. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say about this. I hope it makes sense. I know sometimes I get on these conversations, these talks, and I lose my train of thought a little bit. So hopefully it all comes together and makes kind of sense to you and to me. But that's the video, guys. Hopefully you can take the good of it and maximize that for yourself. Hopefully it creates some benefit for you. And let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to try to get videos out consistently. I've had a significant increase in views in the last week, which is weird, but I'm not going to complain. So let me know what you guys think, because I will make videos about what you guys want to hear, as well as what I think needs to be said, for lack of a better word. So that's it. Hope you guys have a great day and a great week, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.